Erik, I know that you've got a lot of confident guys on the team, and they came in confident to this season, but have you felt like their belief in themselves, particularly some of them individually, has grown throughout this process? And if it has, how valuable is that as you go through a playoff run?
Well, the veteran guys had that confidence probably all year long. That's not something Jimmy lacks in. That helps everybody else have confidence, particularly when you're playing against high-level competition. Certainly, though, Ethan, you can point to our young players that have gotten better each single month, and then have made big strides during this bubble. Getting opportunities in pressure context, I think quite naturally just helps in confidence.
Erik, you've always spoken about an even keel in all situations, but you've also been through Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals. Do you feel an increase in the intensity, in the pressure? Is there a different feeling in these days, and is there a different feeling each level of the playoffs you move up?
Ultimately, that's what you want out of the playoffs. You want it to be an absolute test to your team. And each level and series you go on, it should be a greater challenge. The whole system is set up to make sure that if you can get through all four series, that the best team at that time have the best chance to win. It's not like the NCAA tournament where you can get hot. You have to play extended high-level basketball for a long time.
How much have you still felt that? This is so unusual, but have you felt when it gets down to sort of brass tacks and just basketball, it feels the same, or is it just so different that everything is different? Thank you.
Yeah, we are grateful that when we're in this bubble and able to compete, that's the closest it can feel to how it used to feel, even though the world has changed and the environment is different. But we're grateful for that.
There's a game tonight of some mild interest.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch that collectively, or?
No, we're not going to watch that together. I mean, we'll get into the film as we go, but I'm pretty sure the guys are going to watch on their own. I'm going to have a couple cups of coffee. We've had one late game, so been used to the slightly earlier games. I'll have to adjust my schedule.
I can't imagine at this point in the season, I was going to say this time of year, but I'll throw that out the window under normal times. But going into the Eastern Conference Finals, some days to work on yourself probably isn't a bad thing. Is that how?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's probably not ideal to sit around for a week, but there's things you can work on. Is that how you kind of justify the time?
And build our reserves with our emotional and mental and physical energy as well. Going through a 7-game series requires a lot of that. So we're building that back up, but we're also preparing, and then we'll get the clarity that I think everybody wants, after tonight.
Hey, Spo, a lot of the guys have been talking about beating the bubble since really arriving at Disney. I know there's a lot that goes into winning playoff basketball games, but why do you think this team has been able to kind of flourish in this environment, maybe more than some others?
I don't know. I don't know how other teams are doing or how they did with it. It still ends up being about competition, but the environment clearly is something different than any of us have experienced before, except for maybe Goran, 8 points to the European Championships. I think it requires some level of structure, of discipline and routine, and a unique amount of camaraderie to help each other get through this. Nobody's complaining about it. Nobody's making excuses about it. We're grateful for this opportunity, but it is different, and you do need each other to lift each other up. On certain days where you're not feeling 100%. This group has been able to do that.
Hey, Spo. Kind of piggybacking on what some of the other guys have asked. You may not be able to answer this because you're still in the middle of it, but I do wonder if there are things from this bubble experience that you think are transferable to whenever basketball is normal again? Or is it just such a unique set of circumstances that it has to be viewed kind of as a one-off no matter what happens?
I think having, this many days around each other, I think only helps, as you move forward, and particularly experiencing something so foreign and new together collectively and helping each other, get through this. I think that has to mean something in the future. I don't know what. There's no way to compare it, and it's just an incredible life experience to go through, together. And it really has been remarkable that this thing is still happening. I think it's given inspiration to other sports. That it can be done with the right structure and the right protocols and the right adherence and the right collaboration from everybody and all parties. There are sacrifices, but it can be done, and I can't say it enough. We're just really grateful to be a part of this.
Hey, Erik, is Tyler Herro a patient shooter and that's a genuine strength of his, or does part of the credit go to your team's passing where Tyler knows he doesn't have to force a shot because he'll get the ball back even on the same possession?
All the above. He really works at it. He probably has some kind of natural touch and a fearlessness, but he doesn't leave it to chance. For a young kid, he's pretty relentless with his work ethic and his consistency. That's why his shooting and his game and his skill set will continue to improve. And then he has teammates and veteran players that feed him with confidence and give him the ball in those situations. That really helps. If you have veteran players that are, really hard on you and not feeding you that confidence, there's a history of young players that don't grow as quickly because of that. So I think our veteran leadership
Joby
helped Tyler, but all of our young guys.
Hey, Spill, all throughout the playoffs, Jay has guarded a variety of different guys, Giannis, Middleton, Oladipo, Warren a little bit. How important has that defensive versatility been, and how impressed have you been by it?
We always liked Jay, competing against him in the Eastern Conference. And you just keep a mental note of guys like that. You think that guys like that would fit in our culture and our structure. You never really know until you get him into your walls, but he has been everything that we thought and anticipated, and probably more. But that versatility defensively is important to our team. That's how we're built, and he adds another layer to that.